Good evening to folks at home, and welcome to a very special and new presentation of our virtual Dominion Energy Jazz Café. You've got sights for the holidays already, and we've got sounds to get you through to the end of this year and beyond. You can't see them, but in front of me in this very room, I've got Glennroy and Company. Glennroy, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely couldn't do it without folks like you. Before we get into a little chat, we're going to make it briefer than normal so we can get to this music. Can you tell this audience, those who don't know, who you all are in your own words?
Okay, well, over here on drums, I have Mr. Ellwood Henderson. He and I went to high school together. I've been out for 50 years, so that's how long we've been knowing each other. And I was actually his older brother's buddy.
All right.
And he and I ended up spending our lives together through music.
All right.
So that's Ellwood Henderson, and he also played for Jimmy Castor. He was drummer for Jimmy Castor Bunch for many years.
Fabulous.
And then came back home, and I was fortunate enough to grab him.
Welcome back.
And over here we have Mr. Everard Thompson, who hails from Tennessee. Met him, I was doing gigging all throughout the city, and he would pop up and he said, one day you gonna mess around and let me play with you. I didn't know him from anybody else. I said, yeah, right, okay, yeah, right. And strangely enough, during that time, I had a bass player that had been with me for years. And I was also doing an album release party, and somebody told me about him playing guitar, Everard playing guitar. So I got him, and he came, he did the gig with me, and I loved it. And that night, the bass player told me he had to go back to Philly and won't gonna be here anymore. And I said, God, I got to find me a bass player. He said, I was a bass major. So he's been with me for about 30 years, and that's Everard Thompson, and he can sing.
Didn't have to look much further at home.
No more. And he's been there ever since. And, that's just my man right there. And over here, Mr. Billy Evans, William Evans actually, but we call him Billy. I met him at Virginia Union my sophomore year, his freshman year. Prior to him coming, the head of the music department said, Glennroy is a guy coming from Jersey. Y'all gonna end up being best friends. Y'all gonna be friends forever. And he said, I said, okay. When we came in, I heard a piano down in the hallway. I was in class, and I slipped out and slipped down to where the music was coming from. This guy sitting there playing piano, I'd never seen him before in my life. And I slipped my flute together and just joined him. And by the time we finished, the people had circled the room, and he and I had played. It was about, I guess, 15 or 20 people in the room. And that's how he and I met. And he looked up and he said, you must be Glennroy. I said, you must be Billy. And we've been together ever since. That was 1970. So that's how long we've been doing this. And as for me, Maggie Walker, Richmonder, he's a Richmonder too, by the way, and I'm a Richmonder. Debo Dabney, one of my best friends ever. We were in high school together, and he heard me fooling around in the band room, and he said, man, you need to play in the club. I said, what are you talking about? He said, you need to play in the club right now. And he said, come on over to my house. I'm going to show you a few things. And I went over his house. He was playing piano, and I joined him, and he took me on a gig with him just to throw me in there. And when we did Memphis Underground by Herbie Mann, and the people went through the roof, and I've been playing ever since. And Debo pushed me out there, and he and I rolled for the last 40, 50 years also. And if Debo wasn't sitting at the piano, it was Billy. If Billy wasn't sitting at the piano, it's Debo. A couple other guys slipped in and out, but they are my mainstay. When I see them, I know I'm good.
Normally my next question would be, tell me about, where music begins for you, and I do want to learn a little bit more about how you got interested in the craft to begin with. But before we get there, can you tell us one more story about someone that we miss here in Richmond? I think his absence is still felt in a jazz community. Tell us one more little piece of love about Mr. Debo.
Debo, man, he was a special guy. First of all, he was quiet. He wasn't in the mix. He was always in the mix, but he was quiet. And when you ask him for what he thought or what was going on, he was going to keep it real. and he was going to keep it honest. And he said what he believed, and 9 times out of 10, he was on the money. And the people loved him. He was real shy. He always kept his hand in his pockets like that. You see him stand like that. And clean, always clean.
Always.
And if he saw talent or saw something, he would say it. Like, I give what I do to him. Because he saw me in band class and said, do this. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just doing what I do. And he heard me and said, man, you need to give this a shot. And I owe my career, in a sense, to him stating that. But I was heading in that direction, but I didn't know it. But he made it happen fast. And we were playing in clubs when we were in high school, too young to be in there. The guy said, don't say nothing to nobody. Don't look around. Just do what you do. And that's how we did. We got away with that for about 2-3 years before we actually became of age. And we was playing with our band teachers.
Well, I mean, Debo was a special person.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely missed here and around this community for sure. Now, high school, he hears you playing something in a band room. That means you already had music in your heart, in your fingers, and in your mind. Where did that begin? Where does it come from?
Well, actually, my mother, she used to sing. Before I was born, I got a picture. I don't have it with me, but I have a picture of her in a great group, a gospel group. She used to sing. I didn't know it, but when I was a young guy, and my brother, it was just 2 of us, he would always want to go outside and play, and I wanted to lay on the floor and listen to the radio. And Mom said, go on outside. I said, okay, Mom. But I was listening to the music. I was just pulled in by the music. And then when we was in church, my mom used to sing alto, and she would sing alto while the choir sang. And one day my brother was in the choir, and I had to go to choir because I was too young to stay alone. So I had to go to rehearsal, but I was too young to be in the choir. And when they started singing, I started singing. And Miss Esther Bird said, where is that coming from? She was hearing me sing alto, and the choir was basically singing in unison. So she slipped around and caught me. She said, it's you. I said, I'm not going to do it anymore. She said, no, baby, keep singing. Because 2 or 3 other kids in there could pick up off what I was doing, and that's when we started having harmony in the choir, because I could hear the alto line. So my mom basically trained my ear. And then when we got in school, around about 3rd grade, Mr. Dave Williams, who was a band teacher throughout the area, played and gigged and all that, came to our class and wanted, kids to be in the band. And I had studied, the general music teacher was teaching us the recorder.
Right.
And she said, when y'all go home and learn this, that, and come back, and next week we're going to do this. And when she showed us what she did, when we came back, she said, who wants to play? And I raised my hand. She said, okay. And she said, what do you want to play? This, that, or that? So I flipped to the back of the book and played something. She looked at me, she went, how? We didn't go that far. I said, based off of what you showed me and what's in the book, it was a piece of cake. And she said, you need to meet Mr. Williams, who was the band teacher. So she told him about me. And so and that was great. So he wanted me in the band. I wanted going to be in the band. Thought it was going to be a sure thing. No. Mom couldn't afford an instrument. We go to the music store, she'd get turned down. But every time we go downtown, which we lived and we walked, we go by the music store, I beg and cry. And Mr. Williams said, when you get an instrument, I say, Friday. We're getting it Friday. That went on for about 3 months, leading up to his first Christmas concert. Tell you this, and I'm going to get out your way. We were in the music store, getting turned down again, and the custodian heard my mom's story. He told him, the sales guy, said, wait a minute. He goes downstairs and came back up with this flute that he was clearing the dust off of. He said that someone had brought it in to be repaired and never came back to get it. And the clerk said, whatever you can bring, Miss Bailey, on a weekly basis, $1, $2, whatever, you can take this flute. We take the flute. That's how I got my flute. We came back to make that payment with this dapper man in there, and Mom said, I want to make a payment on my son's flute. And he put like $2 up there. He said, ma'am, we don't have anything here for $2. She said, look in the Rolodex over there on the desk. He goes over and looked at it and saw this.
Mm.
And he looked at her, he looked at me, he gave her the $2 back, said, "It's your flute. God bless you."
Mm.
That's how I got my instrument, and I never stopped playing.
Look at God. That's what they say,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Look at God.
So that's my story with music and how I got hooked. And, you know, and then somebody said, "Well, you start singing." I said, "Well, I was singing before I had the flute because you had to buy a flute. But you can sing for free."
I
So
was a singer for a
first.
long time for that reason.
So that's pretty much my story, you know. And I, you know, I just thank God that Mom took those beatings from me, because that was humiliating to be turned down and tell you you can't get it. But she would go in there and just stand there and let it go. But that custodian, whoever he was, bless his heart.
You know, my mother taught me to sing in a similar way to you. She's a soprano.
Okay.
Still singing. In fact, she's been on this program. And I remember she had us in a group, and once a year, that group of kids and the teacher would go to Friendlies for ice cream.
Okay,
We couldn't afford no Friendlies.
right.
But a couple of times, Mom let us go, and we just sort of sat and watched the kids eat ice cream, and we didn't feel anything about it. We were with the kids. You know.
Right.
I didn't get much ice cream anyway, and I knew that dragged on her. But she gave us those memories, and we're
Right.
grateful. I'm grateful. My sisters too.
Oh, yeah.
Now you collect over the years. The three gentlemen behind you been playing for decades.
Right.
We've been on a journey of education since we started this virtual programming. And one thing we've talked about a lot, and I'm not ready to let it go, is the idea of improvisation. We've got 4 different minds on stage with 4 different instruments who play in 4 different ways. But over the next course of the span of time they play tonight, you're going to hear some magic. How are you going to create that magic? We haven't had much rehearsal or anything. What's going to come out your mind tonight?
Well, for us at this point, it's instinct. You know, we know what keys we're going to do it in, count it off, and we roll it. I love to listen to Billy's solo because he never does the same thing twice. He makes it fresh and chords. Oh God, chord. You know, just we're having fun when we're playing for you. We're entertaining each other.
Yeah.
You know, and you just happen to be there. That's the way we see it. And Everard, you know, Lord have mercy, we was doing something and we was on a gig and I was singing and he started singing behind me. I said, "Oh God," you know. And he said, "I sing." You know, I never asked him. And once we got that straight, we started singing. And a lot of times we just make it up. Well, we know what it should sound like, and we just do it on the spot. And actually, the gigs become the rehearsal. And by the time you do it 10, 12, 30 times, you just know what's going to happen, you know. And for them right now, if I say, "Well, we're going to do a new tune," he said, "What is it?" And I said, "Well, let's try this," and give them the key. And we might get together one time and just say, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, we got that. And we just go with it, you know, and they follow. You know, it's a system, an unspoken system.
I think, for me, if I have to improvise, it's the same thing. You know, with a group, often, as I'm sure has been your experience, a group of people I've never played before. I don't know what they're going to do. I've never heard them.
Right.
But I've got a microphone, and I've been told to do something. So
Yeah.
I got 3 minutes to do it, so I better figure it out.
Let it happen.
But through that experience you develop, I'm still coming up. I'm still learning from folks like you all. But through that experience, through experiences hearing other people, just sitting back and
Right.
allowing yourself to learn, I think we pick it up
Yeah.
quite nicely.
And you hear somebody do something that's, oh, wow. So you still you know, you just take a little bit of that, put it in what you do, and you hear somebody, oh, okay. And you put it together and you package it for yourself. And I used to always try to tell my students, they say, "I want to sing like him." I said, "No, he's doing that. Sing like you."
Thank you. Thank you. When you get
Yeah.
fancy, you call it illusion.
Yeah.
Allude to this singer, but we're here to hear you.
Yeah, do you and just learn from him, but do you, you know, and that's where the different aspects of stars come from, people doing themselves, but they had to hear other people first to know what to shoot for, you know.
I'm an opera singer. I've said that, and when I've had to teach, usually a choir or an orchestra, and they'll talk to me about the things that they loved, and this one was better than that one. I'll remind them, you know what? Think about Mozart wrote that Requiem, and that second movement, that great big Dies Irae we can't get away from,
Right.
is big, and it's powerful. It's not Verdi's Dies
Right.
Irae, but would Verdi have given us all that if Mozart hadn't given us what he offered
Right.
all those years before?
Right.
Glennroy, I know we're going to have another opportunity for a conversation like these, but tonight,
Okay.
I'd love to hear you all play.
Sounds good.
When you're done, I'll give a little salutation, but until then, I'm part of the audience too.
All right.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. We're looking forward to hearing
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. That was called Breezing. Now we're going to do one of my favorite Christmas tunes, "Oh Christmas Tree." Christmas Tree, one of my favorites. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I got it right here. need to say, we haven't played together in, I guess, 7 or 8 months since the pandemic. Billy and I did something on Zoom about 2 weeks ago for Virginia Union, but we have not been together since the pandemic hit. So I thank you guys, man. Thank you. I really appreciate what you can do, because this is, oh my God. My flute looked at me like, what we gonna do? So we working it out. I want to sing, and I hope I can pull it off. Let's see if we can do "We're in This Love Together." And if it doesn't work, I haven't sung in 7 months either. But we're going to see. Talk about improvising. It's like a diamond ring, it's a precious thing, and you never want to lose it. It's like your favorite song that you love to sing. Every time we hear the music, I tell you that in this love together, we got the kind that lasts forever. Don't you know, we're in this love together. And like berries on the vine, we got sweeter on the vine. It's just the way we planned it. I tell you that we're in this love together. We got the kind that lasts forever. Don't you know we're in this love together. And like berries on the vine, it gets sweeter It gets sweeter all the time. Yeah. I'm going to do a tune now called Friends and Strangers. All right. Keeping in the Yuletide season, one of my favorites. This is actually arrangement by Everard, Our Silent Night. Ellwood Henderson drums, Everard Thompson bass and vocals, Bill Evans keyboards and vocals. Yours truly, Glennroy Bailey. Thank you so very much for having us.
Amen, amen. And all the people said, what? Amen. Oh, they hear me. Glennroy and Company, thank you so much. Thank you for coming here and helping me, helping this museum, helping this town, helping this world wrap a pretty little bow around a year that was.
Oh, my God. Yes, yes, it was. And,
but we made it to the end, didn't we?
Oh, we did. We did. And it's not over yet.
No, it's not.
It's not over yet. And thank you for having us. I want to thank the Jazz Society. They've just been great, great friends through the years, keeping music alive in the area, and, you know, help them out if you can, too.
I will echo that thank you from my heart, and I will deliver that thank you from this institution as well. Thank you to the Richmond Jazz Society.
Yes.
Thank you to Dominion Energy.
Yes.
Thank you to Remember Tommy Productions. Thank you to Glennroy and Company.
Thank you so much.
And to those of you at home, thank you for loving with us. Thank you for listening to us. And thank you for learning from us. In a different format for your holiday season, this has been the virtual Dominion Energy Jazz Café. I'm Robert Vennard. Good night.